Hello, my darlings. It's so cold recently in Poland that I have to record in a jacket. Insane. And I do have all my heaters on. Anyways, guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. If you love rose and if you love wearing it throughout the fall and winter, you're gonna love this video because I have some of the best roses ever. Designer and niche, so everything for everyone, cheap and expensive, again, something for everyone. Before I get into it, please don't forget to subscribe because it really helps me. You know the drill, guys. And of course, follow me on Instagram because that also really helps me. Okay, guys, I have my little basket, right here, right beside me, and I am gonna start with the one that I only have testers of. And I really love this fragrance. I am staring away a little bit these days from that note profile, but I honestly think this is one of the best roses that you can implement in your collection for fall. And that is by BKD Puffle, and that is Tabac Rose. And this is a beautiful combination. If you love fragrances like Oud Bouquet by Lancome, stuff like that, if you love tobacco, if you love rose but very sweet jammy rose, you're gonna absolutely love this. It is a deeper scent, definitely not for spring summer, at least for me. Very good projection and longevity. I really like this. I've been testing it out for a long time now and it has my stamp of approval. It has good lasting power, and I really like BKD Parfums in general. They're very unique. That one also has a very nice twist to it, you know. It's not like your straight up typical rose scent. There's so much going on in there and everyone's gonna be just intoxicating. I love this one. Speaking of Oud Bouquet, of course, if you love your praline roses, you're gonna love Oud Bouquet. This is, I would say at this point, it's an oldie but a goodie on YouTube. I remember way before I started doing my own YouTube channel, people went nuts about it. It was so hyped up, it's insane. Now I feel like it really died down, as it usually happens to the perfumes. But I still think it is a beautiful rose. If you love oud, but a very nice smooth oud, nothing too Middle Eastern, too in your face, too barnyard. The oud is actually quite faint in here. If you love, of course, rose, and if you love praline and gourmand notes, you're gonna adore this. To me, this is a absolute Middle Eastern princess. Nighttime, very much appropriate. So this is your super sweet but dark rose. I love this during autumn and winter time when I go out at night. So that's that. Now on the completely other side of the spectrum, we have our day-to-day rose. And I want to highly recommend you the newest version of the original Chloe, which I have right here. But I already placed an order for the Absolu version. I'm just keeping it here so you have an idea, because the bottle looks exactly the same, it just has a different bow. And the bow on the Absolu has some glitter on it, like a nice goldenish bow. So with the Absolu version, because this one, the original, has been around for years, and as much as I absolutely love it, this to me can be a signature scent. It's just a perfect fruity rose with a lot of musk. This one kind of sometimes disappears in all those, you know, warmer, spicier fragrances that people pull out in autumn, winter. So if you want something a little bit stronger, I would suggest going for the Absolu, which I tested and I really like. It has added vanilla, so it's sweeter. You definitely do get that vanilla, and it also has some patchouli, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but with that rose and that typical Chloe Eau de Parfum DNA, it really does work and grounds the fragrance and even warms it up even more, which is sometimes what I'm lacking in the original Chloe, that beautiful warmth that patchouli actually does give. So think of the warmth of patchouli that you get in Coco Mademoiselle. This is that patchouli that they put in the Absolu version with vanilla. So it is great. It really, really is great. And also it has better longevity and sillage than the original. So, you know, to me, if something is more long lasting, that's always a great bonus, and I always go for something that's more long lasting. Sometimes even I prefer the less lasting fragrance, but I still go for the, for example, intense version if it is really intense. So yeah, this one I love, but I think keep the Eau de Parfum original for spring and summer, and for winter, autumn, get and enjoy the Absolu. So yes, that is the Chloe story, not the love story, the Eau de Parfum one. All right, next one, what do we have here? Let's go for a cheapie. So I always, if I was doing a rose fragrance, I would always show Oud Satin Mood, right? Like, this is my favorite. However, I don't want to show it anymore because I am trying to stay away from showing Kurjan so much, because I feel like it really is my favorite brand. If not one of my favorites, it is my favorite. So, you know, I just don't want to show you same and same old fragrances all the time. So this time I switched it up, and I am going to show you a very nice, quite similar, cheap version of it. And this is by Nina Ricci, and this is the L'Extase Rose Absolu, and it was always done by Francis. So he is my favorite perfume by far. It's quite late, guys. It's quite late. And almost everything he does, I love. I just feel like I'm vibing with him telepathically and nose-wise. I don't know, but I really do like his scents. So this one is quite similar, I must say, but it doesn't have that beautiful vanilla that Oud Satin Mood has. It's not as dense. It's way fresher. Okay, maybe not way fresher, but it is slightly fresher. It's still a dark fragrance. It's still sweet, but not as sweet and dense as the Oud Satin Mood. So you can't say it's a dupe. It's definitely not a dupe, and it really bugs me when people say it's a dupe, because it really isn't. I really know how Oud Satin Mood performs because I've worn it so many times for so many different occasions. It really isn't that. The longevity and projection on MFK one is absolutely outstanding, and it's so sweet with the vanilla. To my boyfriend's nose, it's plastic, but that's okay, because we have an alternative. And this one is, the Nina Ricci is definitely more rosy, like hands down way more rosy. It's not as sweet, it's fresher, but I still love it. I still do. I would say if you love those very deep fragrances, Nina would be your daytime, and then you can just top it up with Oud Satin Mood and just enjoy the night. And I must say they just mix so good together, the two of them. I've worn it like that a couple of times now. And if you do own MFK and maybe you do want to make it a little bit more wearable, fresh, rosy, then go with Nina Ricci Rose Absolu on top and you're good to go. I also feel like, again, they complement each other so well. This might surely be like the daytime version of the Oud Satin Mood. And that's it. That's what I would say. It's kind of like this would be the, you know, like with other fragrances. Let's, for example, say that this is the original EDP and the Oud Satin Mood would be the amped up, twisted up, intense version of the same fragrance. But they are similar, but not that similar, all right? So that is the Nina Ricci Fantastic Rose for fall and winter. If you don't want to splurge on Kurjan, I think it's still a good alternative, but it's worth having both as well. Okay, next, again, just when I said I don't want to bore you with the same fragrances, here it is, me showing this again, but I love it so much. It's so good. And that is Jo Malone Rose and White Musk Absolu, and this is such an underrated fragrance. Not many people talk about it. I don't even know if anyone talks about it, which is a bummer. Is something wrong? I don't know, but it's so good. It's very beautiful. It really is very, very beautiful. It's another Middle Eastern princess type of fragrance. Very, very true rose with a lot of amber and musk and a little bit of oud. So beautiful, guys. This one is so, so beautiful. And this one also is the longest lasting Jo Malone that I have ever owned, tested, tried, etc. So highly, highly recommend this one. Next one, we have the Smoky Rose, but make it also quite peachy. Sounds interesting? I hope so, because this is amazing. And that is ex Idolo Lucid Dream. And this one is a rose, incense, a little bit of patchouli, and osmanthus. This is such a beautiful combination. You have no idea. Like, again, completely underrated fragrance. I don't know why people don't talk about it at all, because for all those rose lovers, so good. This is how it looks like. I only have the smallest bottle, but actually a little goes a long way. Let me spray it a little bit on myself. This is a very contemporary take on a Middle Eastern fragrance. You still get that, you know, incensey smokiness. You still get a beautiful, rich rose. But thanks to the osmanthus, it's more wearable, more fruity, more youthful. So I highly recommend it. Amazing longevity and sillage. I actually do own another ex Idolo, which is Love and Crime, which is a perfect dupe for Lira by Xerjoff, but I would say it's even better. However, I am waiting for a few things to wrap up before I can review it for you, but I have it and the review is coming, I promise. But for now, let's enjoy Lucid Dream because it is fantastic. So I don't think you're gonna regret getting this. Also, ex Idolo, it's such a nice small niche house. It's very nice to support them. So yes, that is it. Then we have another cheapie and I'm in love, and that is Rose Gourmand by Zara. If you haven't seen my latest video on Zara fragrances, go ahead and check it out. It's very interesting. I love them. I currently love Zara fragrances. And this one is an amazing dupe for Montale Intense Cafe, which is pretty much one of my favorite Montales, like hands down. This one, comparing to Intense Cafe, has a little bit of less vanilla and more rose. So it's slightly less sweet, but it's so good. I mean, don't get me wrong, this one is still very sweet, but you know, Montale is almost sickly sweet. It's like a latte sweet. This one is a little bit more rosy, but the longevity and the sillage is amazing, guys. I sprayed it on my jumper and I went to my mom, and the whole evening I could smell myself so well. And then another day I didn't have to spray my jacket again because this is how strongly it was smelling with that fragrance. So guys, test Zara fragrances once again, because I do get comments that they don't last. Trust me, this formulation does last, and I always tell you when a fragrance does not last, and trust me, this does. It really does. Beautiful, just beautiful. If you don't want to splurge on Intense Cafe, Zara Rose Gourmand, absolutely fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to show you a very expensive fragrance. So we have everything for everyone, right? And that is Fragrance du Bois Oud Rose Intense. And this is really not an intense oud, I must say. This is more of a fruity rose with some wood undertones. Yes, you get that little whiffs here and there of the woods, But in general, this is just a beautiful, slightly smoky rose with a lot of fruity touches. So if you are afraid of maybe those very deep roses or oud perfumes in general, I think if you have the money to spend on Fragrance de Bois and you just want to have what's best in the world, then Oud Rose Intense is definitely the way to go. This is the Parfum concentration. So good. So good, guys. Of course, it has natural oud and all those ingredients are natural, and the packaging is insane, isn't it? It's just insane. The longevity, I would say, is very nice. The sillage is moderate, so it's not like oomph in your face. It's more like a little bit more, I don't want to say closer to the skin because people can smell it, but it's not very hyper projecting, you know? But it's very nice, and I think this one is amazing quality. So that is Oud Rose Intense. Okay, what do we have next? Of course, this is surely the rose that many people love so much, and for many people this is a definite favorite. And this to me is more of a fall winter version of that scent, and this is Elena Exclusive. And at first I didn't really love it, but now I am absolutely obsessed with it. What I also love doing is mixing the original Delina Exclusive with Jeulia perfumes. How is it called? Oh gosh, I don't remember. I'm sorry, but the Jeulia's equivalent of Delina Exclusive. I mix these two because the Jeulia one has amazing lasting power as well, but it has more Pear. So if I want something like strictly for daytime, but I still don't want to wear the original Delina, I want to wear the exclusive version, I would go for Jeulia's equivalent. However, this one is so worth the money. Like, you have to have it if you love those vanilla, rosy. There is also some oud in here, so bear that in mind, but it's almost non-existent. It just grounds the fragrance, in my opinion. It's incense here as well. A lot of pear, a little bit powdery, but in general it's a fluffy, creamy version of Delina and way sweeter. There's no sourness. It's just gorgeous. Very much of a vanilla rose combo. So if you like that, you'll probably love this. I would say it is sexy, but it's like innocent sexy, you know? And the sillage and projection are insane. So that is the Delina Exclusive. Next one, also in a pink bottle, we have Amouage Blossom Love. And even though it's called Blossom, so you might think spring, to me it's definitely for cooler weather. I could not pull this out when it was hot outside, like no chance. This one is super sweet. This one is very much on that rose and amaretto. There's also almond blossom, no, sorry, cherry blossom here. So you get some of that cherry blossom as well. It's so nice, guys. I cannot believe it took me so long to get it, because I was actually a little bit, you know, like put off by the reviews that I was listening to or reading. But I am so happy that I finally got it, because it's just so amazing. Oh, if you love Amouage, you have to have this in your collection, because to me, I think this one is my favorite Amouage. Not to mention, it's definitely my favorite Amouage bottle because it's so nice and pink. So yes, I love the cap, by the way. I hate when it happens, and of course it had to happen on one of my most expensive fragrances, right? I couldn't lose the cap on Britney Spears. I had to lose one on Amouage. That's my luck sometimes, but yes, love this one. It definitely does have this Middle Eastern touch because, you know, it's been made in Oman. But in general, if you love amaretto and rose and that kind of vibe, like sweet rose with slightly nuttiness, you're gonna love this. So that is Blossom Love. Next, another rose mask, but this one is a very sweet rose mask. So unlike the Jo Malone, which is very realistic rose, not too sweet. This one is super sweet, and that is the Intense Roses Musk, and I think it's gonna be perfect for fall. Great longevity and sillage. Be careful with this one though. Anytime you get the intense versions of Montale fragrances, they are very, very oily. So what I actually do with this fragrance, I spray it on top of my body lotion and I mesh them two together. And thanks to that fragrance, my skin is super duper glowy. Actually, you can see it right now because I did spritz a little bit on my neck, and this is the glow from this. So it's potent, guys, it's potent. But it's so beautiful. I do prefer it over the original Roses Musk, which I also do own, but this one is just, you know, done to perfection. So much better, so much more long lasting. So I highly recommend this one. Love this one. And next we've got, and I think this is my last fragrance here for all my beautiful roses. This one is the spicy rose, peppery rose, fun rose, and that is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. And again, another pink bottle. Surprise, surprise. I love this one. At first, I wasn't the biggest fan, but the more I wear it, the more I love it. I would say that currently my absolute favorite is the amber one, the newest one, but I think right after the amber, at the moment, it is the Sweet Diamond. I am blinding you, I know, but it's so much fun to blind you. I'm so stupid sometimes, sorry. So, Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, it is a sweeter rose, but not too sweet. This is definitely peppery. It kind of reminds me slightly of Swiss Arabian Shayla, or slightly, but slightly, Armani Rose d'Arabie, slightly. But in general, it has its own vibe, its own DNA. It's really hard to compare this one to anything, because even though, you know, it's such an overdone thing, which is a rose, this one is still unique. So I really like it about that, and I am so happy to have it in my collection. I wish I got the bigger bottle when I was buying it. But yeah, next time I'll do. Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, very nice lasting power, moderate projection. So yeah, guys, I think that is it for my roses. I love my roses, and if I could, I would show you so much more, but I think these ones are specifically brilliant for fall and winter coming. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below what is your favorite rose, or which one would you actually like to try from this list if you haven't already. Of course, please don't forget to subscribe, and see you in my next one. Bye!